the Four Corners region of Colorado, I met up with archaeologist Chuck Riggs and his team as they were excavating a site that can help us understand how this civilization developed.
So Chuck, tell me about the site we're on today.
Well, the site we're on today it dates to what we call the Pueblo II period. So that's AD 9 to 1100, 1150, somewhere in that range. Okay. Consists of 4 of these, what we call unit pueblos, scattered throughout this sort of pseudo ridge above this valley here. So,
how many of the room blocks are up here?
Well, there's 4 here. Each one, the pattern here at this time period is for each of these to have a kiva or 2 associated with it. And so what we're hoping to do here is get an idea of the size of these buildings and excavate a few rooms. That's the goal for the summer.
What are you having the crew look for?
Well, we're putting in these hand trench units, trying to head toward the outer walls of each room block to sort of establish the boundaries of the structures.
This is the first of the trenches we're doing in our attempts to outline the buildings where we've actually found the wall. Okay. And so from here, what we're probably going to do is we're going to do a series of shallow trenches all around the perimeter, just to expose a couple of courses of masonry, just to make sure we know where the edges of the actual building, so we can separate it from the rubble mound that we're sort of digging through to get to this wall. So this is a Pueblo II site, and up here in the Four Corners, we use what's called the Pecos classification. The Pecos classification consists of a number of periods from what we call Basket Maker II to sort of really up here, Pueblo III. Okay. Which is when the sort of prehistoric occupation comes to an end in terms of Pueblo dwellers. Archaeologists throw around the word abandonment.
Which means something
I think for us it means
different.
something different than it means for the public. So for us it means they left this area.
I think that's a really important point to punctuate with, that you know, there is this myth that the people living here disappeared. The people living at Mesa Verde disappeared. They didn't disappear.
It's not clear why the ancestors abandoned sites like this in the 12th and 13th centuries, but it likely had something to do with the changing climate and environmental degradation. Archaeologically, we know that some communities moved to cliff dwellings rather than remain on the mesas, and this could be due to warfare and social stress brought on by competition for resources.
America from the Ground Up is made possible in part by Central Michigan University's College of Humanities and Social and Behavioral Sciences, the Missouri Humanities Council, and the Kirby Foundation, a family foundation supporting education.